Sure, this is kind of out of my comfort zone too, but thinking about seeing Monika in a bikini. Guys, is this going to be one of those mods that takes some sort of like weird sexual turn? On your way out, would you pay for our drinks as well, like a gentleman? Monika! You said you would pay! At the park, you said that coffee was going to be on you. What the hell are you doing? What's up, everybody? Cesar Madrazo here, and today we're looking at a new Doki Doki Literature Club mod. This is Doki Doki Summertime, and this was recommended to me in the comment section by Test300 Full, so thank you for the recommendation. Now, I don't know anything about this mod, but if I had to guess, it's going to be a continuation of the original Doki Doki story, but maybe this is after the school year has ended, and the player character and the girls get into some kind of literature-related summertime shenanigans. I don't know. But from what I've read about it, it seems to be considered to be a pretty good mod, so I'm pretty excited about it. So let's see what happens. By playing Doki Doki Summertime, you agree that you have completed DDLC and accept any spoilers. Yep. Get new outfits for all the girls. And Yuri was winking. That seems a little uncharacteristic. Alright, so we got the original intro screen. Alright, so new game, please enter your name. Caesar. Hey! I see an annoying girl running toward me from the distance, waving her arms in the air like she's totally oblivious to any attention she might draw to herself. So this is the original opening from the original game. That girl is Sayori, my neighbor and good friend since we were children. You know, the kind of friend that you would never see yourself making today, but it just kind of works out because you've known each other for so long. Alright, so we've seen all this already. I'm gonna see if I can just skip through the original intro, because I'm assuming all of you know what it looks like. Overslept again, caught you this time. You're thinking of ignoring me. People stare at you for acting weird. You did stop. You don't have it in you to be mean. Cross the street. Think about joining a club. That's not true. Okay. Wow. They're... Tell you what, let's skip the text here a little bit. Either way, it doesn't matter. I let out a long sigh. Sayori, you're trying to bribe me with food somebody else made. Don't you see anything wrong with that? Well, I told you already, I'll think about it. Until then, I'm not interested, sorry. Okay. Oh, so... bit of a twist on the original opening here. Ooh, I'm digging this music. Alright, so let's see what happens here. The bus leaves me behind just as I arrive at the bus stop. Not again! I guess I wasn't appealing enough to the bus driver with this plastic shopping bag by my side. At least the weather's pleasant today. I couldn't bear to just sit here for 15 minutes in some of the heat waves we had last year. I remember when I was a kid, I didn't even care when my parents warned me about the heat. One time they practically sprayed me down with a garden hose. I wasn't even that upset since we were having so much fun with Sayori. Come to think of it, I haven't seen much of her since last year. Not even on the way to school ever since she started oversleeping regularly. It isn't my responsibility to get her to school on time, right? Besides, I'm sure she was doing fine with the club activities she got involved in. Okay, so I'm guessing that this is a version of the story where we said no to Sayori's invitation, and then after we didn't join the club, we just kind of stopped talking to each other for a while, so it's pretty interesting. What was it again? Something related to books? Not really my thing, maybe some manga now and then, but that probably wouldn't be considered proper literature. Games, now that is my thing. Can't wait till I go home. Caesar? That's an oddly familiar voice. Sayori? Hi, I haven't seen you in a while. Sorry if I bothered you. No, your timing couldn't have been better. I've got nothing better to do. I'm just waiting for the next bus to go home. I see. Hey, you're Caesar, right? Hello, Monika. We haven't talked much before, but I immediately recognize Monika. She's one of the popular girls in school. Smart, beautiful, athletic. Basically the kind of girl that chumps like me are too scared to talk to. Well, you should probably be too scared to talk to her because, as we learned in the original game, she is willing to literally destroy the world just to be with you. You knew each other already? Not fair, I wanted to introduce you two. Ha, that's alright, Sayori. We had a class together in the past. So where are you two headed? We're going swimming! Monika said they have a discount on tickets for students and invited me to join her. You've got to grab the opportunities life gives you. Just because we don't have to go to school doesn't mean we should stay indoors by ourselves. Also, exercise keeps us fit and calms the mind, too. Alright, so Monika doing her usual PSAs that we recognize from the first game. It's gonna be so much fun. That sounds great, Monika. Hey, Caesar. What about you? Me? Yeah. What are you doing today? I glance at Monika and hesitate to blurt out some vague nonsense. Well, I haven't really made up my mind yet. Really? Well, I was just thinking, you know, Sayori seems a bit flustered. Was she like this before? No, she wasn't, from what I remember. In the original game, it didn't seem like she ever hesitated to invite somebody somewhere. Maybe this is just a sign that she sort of lost confidence in us after we said no to joining her club. Want to join us, Caesar? Yeah, that. What? You mean swimming? I'm not a really good swimmer. That's okay, don't be embarrassed. We're just going there to have fun and enjoy the sun. Well, alright, Monika, I'll meet you two there, but first I have to get home and get geared up. Do you know the way? Oh, brother, I forgot about that. Not exactly. Monika tells me how to get to the entrance. I write it down to make sure I won't get lost. The girls wave goodbye just as I see my bus arriving, with Sayori being her usual cheerful self and Monika sweetly smiling at me. On the bus, I get lost in my thoughts. This is really something. I didn't expect to get invited by two girls like this. I guess I owe my thanks to Sayori for stopping to talk to me. This isn't like when she tried to get me involved in her club, attempting to bribe me with food and make me feel guilty because of promises she made. I don't think that's right. Sure, this is kind of out of my comfort zone too, but thinking about seeing Monika in a bikini... Uh-oh. Guys, is this going to be one of those mods that takes some sort of like weird sexual turn or makes, you know, just blatant sexual comments that are completely outside of the zone that we see in the first game? Because I know that a lot of mods do that, and I don't know, like, if that's your thing, then go ahead, but for me, just like, I feel like it's not very faithful to the original game to be, well, to make comments that are at this level, so to speak. Oh boy, I shouldn't let my imagination get the better of me. No, you shouldn't. Keep it in your pants, kid. It's just swimming. Besides, I can't even recall when's the last time I went swimming. At home, I drop off the things I bought at the store. I rummage through my drawers and look for my swimming shorts. Where are they? Has it really been this long since I needed them? Yes! I've probably never been this happy to find a piece of clothing. Now I just need some sun lotion. I'm not in good shape anyway, and adding sunburn to that would make me as appealing as a warm beer on a hot summer day. Not that I know what that's like. The address Monika gave me isn't exactly in my part of the city, so it's probably best if I take the bus. Even if I had to wait 15 minutes again, it would still be faster than if I ran all the way. Like I could run all the way there. I couldn't run the distance from the school to our house, even if my life depended on it. Well, that's not true. Because he did it in the first game. He ran from the school to Sayori's house right before he found out that Sayori killed herself. Luckily, I only had to wait a few minutes before the bus arrived. It's already early afternoon by the time I get to the entrance. They don't seem to care much for their presentation since I would have easily missed it if I didn't have the address. There are several people in front of me waiting to get in, but it takes all of them less than 10 minutes to get finished. Hello? Good afternoon. I'd like one student ticket. Is there still a discount? Yes, 25% until the end of the month. Would you like to buy a monthly pass, perhaps? No, thank you. Just to let you know, today we're closing a few hours earlier than usual due to maintenance. We're going to announce it on the loudspeaker so you won't miss it. Too bad I couldn't get here earlier. I can only spend a couple hours with the girls. Wow, this place looks really good compared to the low ticket price. I can't see the two girls anywhere. I guess I'll just go to the locker room and get changed. It took me a few minutes, but I managed to find it. Since I didn't bring too many things, it only took me a couple of minutes to change to my shorts and put the rest of my stuff away. Better not forget the sun lotion either. Back at the pool, I'm searching for Sayori and Monika. Maybe they're just swimming and I don't recognize them in swimwear. I stand next to the pool. Gah! So I'm guessing Sayori splashed me? Is that what happened? Ha 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 ha! Did I scare you, Caesar? Wow, this is a really well done animation slash artwork of Sayori in the pool. No, just a little. Come in the water. Don't worry, it isn't cold. Do you know how deep it is? Well, it's shallow on this end. It reaches just under my armpits. It's really deep on the other side, though. Ka! Haha, you get so easily startled, Sayori. Meanie. I just noticed the little flower that Monika has in her hair. I don't think that was there originally. Haha, she's right, you know. Yeah? Well, Sayori seems to be pondering something for a moment. Then I challenge you. I bet I can hold my breath for longer. Challenge accepted. That's the spirit. It's good practice for you. Well, what do you mean? For diving. What else? Alright. I'm gonna pretend that that's not meant to be a sexual comment. Oh, you're right. Get ready. I'm coming in. That last sentence was directed more towards myself than to the two of them. I did learn to swim in my early teenage years, but it's not like I've practiced much since then. One thing's for sure, I'm definitely not going to be proposing any swimming challenges to impress them. It's not like I would be any more appealing for being confident beyond my abilities. Ah! Come on, Caesar, just hop in all the way and you'll get used to it quick. Ugh. It's a bit colder than I expected. Then again, I did get used to it in a few minutes. To my dismay, Sayori actually won that competition between us. I was tempted to ask for a rematch, but I figured it would make me embarrassed if it turned out that barely noticeable difference between our times was just me being lucky. Of course, swimming a few laps is almost mandatory if you're in an awesome pool like this. I wish my swimming skills were just as awesome. Getting tired after just 2 isn't something I was proud of. As I was having a breather, I noticed the 2 girls leaving for the snack bar. Naturally, I went to join them. Turns out, even if Monika looks like quite the snack, she's not on the menu. Moving on. The 3 of us go get our drinks. Sayori orders a strawberry and raspberry flavored one, while Monika and I get the exotic fruits flavor. We sit down on some lounge chairs and enjoy our drinks. After finishing my smoothie, I slump down into a chair and enjoy the warm rays of sunshine. I could probably fall asleep right now. I close my eyes and end up listening in on Sayori's conversation with Monika. So, what did you have in mind for tomorrow? We could meet Yuri and Natsuki and go somewhere together. Our last meeting was a few weeks ago, so I figured why not. A whole day together with friends? Yay! Where are we going? What are we doing? If the weather's nice, we could meet in a park. Then we could discuss what happened to each of us. What happened to each of them? Is that foreshadowing? Is this gonna have some horror elements too? Which I would not be surprised. I would in fact enjoy it because, well, that's what I liked about the original DDLC. But I know that these mods, not that many of them actually have a horror twist to them, but if this one does, then I'll be really impressed. Maybe even talk about some literature if the others read something new. I'm so excited! I wonder if Natsuki is going to bake some cupcakes for our reunion. You could ask her yourself, you know. Well, I don't want her to work just because of me. I think everyone would like to have cupcakes, not just you. Ha, you're right. Heh, sorry. Haha. Anyway, you could text her about it. That's a great idea. You always know what to do, Monika. Yeah, always. I feel like that comment is also supposed to hint at the fact that Monika is still aware that this is all just a game. So, thinking that this could go in a nice, neat direction, just like the original one did. Crossing my fingers, anticipating some more horror. It kind of relieves me to hear that Sayori hasn't changed all that much. She's still her cheerful, simple-minded self that she's always been. I'm glad that she found friends that can appreciate her despite all her antics. I wonder what the other girls are like. Of course, I probably couldn't get myself invited to such an all-girl meetup. They probably want to... Am I falling asleep? I woke up to Sayori nudging me on the shoulder. After a short misunderstanding, it was established that I slept for a pretty long time on that bench. Long enough that the pool place is closing shortly. Since Monika already went to change, well, more like we should be going too. Sayori insisted that she wants to come home with me, which I actually don't mind at all. It was always fun messing around with her back in the day. We part ways before entering the locker rooms. It doesn't take me long to get ready, so I decide to wait for Sayori by the female locker room door. Just as I get there, someone comes out. Oh, hey Caesar. She seems surprised by my presence. Hey Monika. Thanks for inviting me today. Don't mention it. I guess it's the least I can do for Sayori. Sayori? She's almost done if you're waiting for her. Anyway, I hope you had fun today, Caesar. I've got to go home to get ready for tomorrow. So that comment Monika made about Sayori, I'm guessing that's a reference to her depression. But Monika doesn't know if we know about it. That's why she kind of drifted away from the topic. Yeah, I would like to see Monika again, or I'm waiting for Sayori. Well, we've made a couple of creepy comments about Monika so far, and, as I said, I feel like that's a little bit unfaithful to the original game, so I'm not really about that, so I'm gonna say I'm waiting for Sayori. It was a fun day, I'll just wait for Sayori. I'm glad to hear that. Take good care of her, okay? I guess even Monika is concerned about Sayori being too clumsy. Oh well, I can't disagree. Don't worry, I'll catch her if she trips on her shoelaces. Yeah, untied laces. I can't shake the feeling that I might have misunderstood something. Yeah, I feel like we're gonna figure out what that means later. See you, Caesar. And with that, Monika storms off as suddenly as she appeared. A few minutes pass, and the door opens once again. You took your time. Meanie. That wasn't mean at all. But you did wait for me after all. Call me a meanie all you want, but I keep my word. There was no reason for her to call you a meanie. Yeah, thanks for waiting for me. It's like when we were kids and we used to go home from school together. She seems to be in a very nostalgic mood all of a sudden. Is something holding her back in the past? I don't know how to talk about this since it might lead up to us talking about how we drifted apart. I guess so. It's not a really big deal since we live so close. We do. Now she looks like she's about to space out. We're going to be standing here until they close the place if we keep messing around. Come on, Sayori, I think we can catch the next bus if we get there quick. Okie dokie, let's go, Caesar. Sayori's being her weird self as always. We managed to catch the bus just as it arrived. On the bus, we sit next to each other and chat about a few things. So what are you doing this summer? I don't really have anything planned, I'm just going with the flow. Aw, Caesar, you make me worried about you. Did you at least join a club last year? I looked at a few, but I didn't feel like taking on more responsibilities than what the school requires me to. Besides, what are your plans for this summer? That's... let's say I'm not sure yet. Why am I not surprised? I feel like that might have been a little hint that she's thinking about suicide. You're always looking out for others, Sayori. It's what I do best. Fine, but what about you? Me? If you want to get me to take more responsibility for my future, shouldn't you show me a good example? Well, there's nothing to worry about, Caesar. I'm gonna be okay. If you say so. Sayori shoots me a wide smile. I'm sorry I'm yawning so much, guys. This is the second video that I'm recording today, and talking this much makes me start yawning. This is our stop. We arrive at Sayori's house. She slowly turns around after reaching the gate. Thanks for coming with us today, Caesar. It was nice to hang out with you after all this time. I had fun because of... well... I would have to be kind of a douchebag to be standing right in front of Sayori and say, oh man, I had fun because of Monika. So, I had fun because of Sayori. No, thank you for inviting me. It was nice to spend some time with my childhood friend. I wouldn't mind meeting up some other time as well, you know, like we used to. Do you really mean that? Of course. You're fun to be with. Why is she blushing all of a sudden? Anyway, I'll see you around like a donut, Sayori. Heh. See you next time, Caesar. Just before getting home, I recall something. Weren't the two of them talking about having some kind of meeting tomorrow? Man, I wish I could get invited to something like that. I wonder what those other girls are like. If they're anywhere between Sayori and Monika, I might even have a chance. Still, I doubt that a group of girls would welcome me with open arms and start vying for my attention. That sounds unrealistic. Not in a dating sim, man. In a dating sim, that is exactly what happens. Oh, so we got some day transitions. That's cool. I don't remember setting an alarm. Oh, someone's calling me. Also, it's already 10 in the morning. Rise and shine, young man. Rise and shine. Morning. You just woke up, didn't you? No, no, no. I've been up since 6 and just finished with... Listen, I don't have time for jokes now. Could you please buy the things I said yesterday? The shop closes before I finish work. Can I do it in the afternoon? Just sort it out now and you'll have the rest of the day for yourself, okay? Yeah, you're right. Be safe, sweetheart. Bye. Bye, Mom. Really not in the mood to go shopping, although I'm awake enough that I can't go back to sleep either. I head down to the kitchen to refuel my tank. Sweet! I found a brand new box of my favorite cereal in the cupboard. Goes in a bowl, milk on top, strictly in that order. Filled up with the essentials, sugar and liquid, I get dressed and leave the house. As I'm approaching the bus stop, I see somebody sitting there, literally looking down. Gosh, I don't remember seeing Sayori like this before. Maybe a joke would bring a smile to her face. Why did the chicken cross the road? So we're not even gonna say hi. We're not gonna say, hey Sayori, you wanna hear a joke? Why'd the chicken cross the road? No, we're just gonna walk up to her, say nothing, just go, why did the chicken cross the road? Huh? Caesar, hey! Her expression changes as abruptly as the face of a digital clock. Sorry, I was just spacing out. You sure you're okay, Sayori? Yep, I'm going to the park to meet my friends. It's going to be so much fun. I'm probably just overthinking things. Wait, are those friends the girls that she talked about with Monika? An all-girls day, right? I didn't think of it that way. I'm sure the other girls wouldn't mind if a boy joined us. So, what about you, Caesar? I'm mildly shocked by her confusing question. How is that a confusing question? She's asking if you want to come with her. Is she suggesting, bit of a tongue twister, that I should join? Am I just overthinking this like a lot of things that are exactly as they seem? Whatever, I'll just assume the option I'd like to be true. Here goes nothing, so you'd be fine with me joining? What? You want to meet them? Well, if you say it's so much fun, then it's worth a shot. Yay! I didn't even have to tell you about the cupcakes. Heh. What do you mean? Our bus arrives right as I say that. She hops on first with a burst of joyful energy. On the way there, I figured that if the meeting's going to be boring, i.e. the girls aren't interested in me, I can just excuse myself anytime because I still have an errand from Mom. So Sayori's depression at this point seems to be geared a lot more towards us than just general depression. Because, well, I don't know, maybe I'm jumping the gun on that. But in the original game, even when we confess to her, she still doesn't feel better. Even though she said that that's sort of the thing that she's most afraid of, that we would deny her confession, and we didn't confess to her. I got that wrong. When she confesses to us and we accept her confession, she still doesn't feel better. But here, it seems like, you know, if she's with us, then no matter what, she's happy. But it could be just that she's acting happy because she doesn't want us to worry about her. So I don't know, I guess we'll see. There aren't a lot of people in the park. Some are walking their dogs, others walking with a friend or a partner. Finally, we take a turn at some trees and see 3 girls. I recognize one of them. It's Monika. Sayori runs up to one of the other 2 girls who are facing away from us. Natsuki! Get off me, you monkey! The other 2 girls giggle at Sayori's hug attack. Monika smiles at me sincerely. The taller, dark-haired girl notices this and turns around to look at me. Our eyes meet. She keeps her gaze on me. Then suddenly turns to Sayori. Hey Sayori, I'm glad to see you're in such good spirits. I missed you girls. Today is going to be awesome. Natsuki? Yeah? Do you still have some cupcakes? Well, if you came earlier... Aww. I just wanted to see your reaction. We put 2 on the side for you. You're the best, Natsuki. You know it. As she says that, I cautiously approach the group. Hey everyone. Oh, sorry, I forgot to introduce you. Girls, this is Caesar. Caesar, this is Natsuki. She makes the best cupcakes ever. She eyes me with furrowed brows before speaking. Yeah, and you better not have come here just for a free sample. Well, that doesn't make a lot of sense. She has no reason to know that we knew anything about the cupcakes. Natsuki seems very certain that it was the food that brought me here. I was hoping for something sweet, but not necessarily edible. Again, the blatant pseudo-sexual comments that honestly are not as bad as some other mods that are out there, but still, just as I said, this is still above the level that the original game would go for. And I feel like there are not that many mods that, you know, stay true to form with the original. So far, this mod, I would say this is probably the one thing that that I would complain about, is that the level of pseudo-sexual references seems to be, you know, a level or two higher than in the original game. Which, you know, if that's your thing, as I said before, then no problem. But for me, the only problem I have with it is that it's just not very faithful to the original game. But, whatever. As I said, mod's not too bad so far. I actually think the quality, the production quality, is really good. And man, that jazz music, I love it. Anyway, let's move on. I didn't even know about them. Huh? Good. Sayori shuffles over to the other girl with cheerful haste. This fine lady here is Yuri. She's really smart, too. This fine lady? I don't feel like that's something Sayori would say. Sayori pats her on the shoulder lightly as if to emphasize her qualities. At this point, I don't even know if she's trying to make us laugh or just feel awkward. Sayori, I told you, don't. She finishes her sentence under her breath, so I can't make out what she's saying. It's nice to meet all of you. It's nice to meet you too. Glad to see you again, Caesar. A wavering smile forms on her face as she lowers her voice at the end of her sentence. So, if not for the cupcakes, which are amazing, why'd you come here? She's really putting me on the spot here. If she wasn't so cute, I'd feel intimidated. Well, Sayori seemed excited meeting all of you, so I assumed you're a cool bunch. It's nice to meet cool people. At this rate, I might leave out the embarrassment before they make up their minds about me. That's nice, Caesar. You might be the first one to think of our club as cool. Your club? Yeah, this is kind of a friendly meetup of our members. You didn't know that? I tried to invite you during the school year. You weren't interested, so I didn't bother you with it after that. You didn't mention. All the girls look at me quizzically. I didn't know this club had such incredibly cute girls. The 4 girls are still looking at me. I pause to rethink what to say. Looking around, my eyes stop on Natsuki. What? I mean, I never imagined literature could be so much fun. Always thought of it as something serious. I get where you're coming from. It was difficult to grab other students' attention during last year's festival. However, there are plenty of things we do in the club. We discuss things we read, our own writing, and have group activities. Yuri likes to set the mood with some tea, and Natsuki occasionally brings her own baked delicacies to the club. You make it sound really interesting, Monika. No, she doesn't. She makes it sound like it actually has pretty much nothing to do with the literature, and it's all about the tea and the cupcakes and just hanging out with friends. Which, honestly, that's what it was. I mean, there was poetry, but like Natsuki said, it was basically just a place for 4 people to hang out. So, I don't know, moving on. Monika is super inspiring and a great leader. Oh, Sayori. That reminds me, weren't you a part of the debate club, Monika? I was, but I got tired of the fruitless arguments we seem to have. So I decided to create something I can call my own. Debates are supposed to convey ideas and feelings, which is kind of what literature is for as well. Also, I had an interest in writing for as long as I can remember. You could say I wanted to write my own story. We didn't grow much since we started the club with Sayori, but I tried to treat everyone like they really mattered. I believe you accomplished your goal, Monika. It's inspiring to see you do so much despite all of your other commitments in and out of school. Aw, thanks. There's no need to treat me like I'm that special. I'm sure we can all achieve so much more than we thought possible if we just put our minds to it. You nailed down the most important thing, Monika. That we had fun. Yes! The girls giggle in tandem. I'm glad that Sayori found such good friends. How's everyone's summer been until now? The usual, I guess. Cooking, baking, housework. Oh, I also visited the zoo. They let me pet a lot of animals. Dolphins, turtles, owls. They let you pet owls at this zoo? I want to go to that zoo. I've never been able to pet an owl before. That sounds awesome. I even fed the monkeys some bananas. Did you pet any koalas? No, they didn't let me. I guess you didn't have the proper qualifications. Ho 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 ho! Sayori. Natsuki tries to jab Sayori with her elbow. Suddenly, Sayori jumps back, letting Natsuki stumble and nearly fall over. Get over here! Sayori runs off and Natsuki follows her. I don't think Natsuki wants to hurt her since she has a playful smile across her face. Haha, well, that escalated quickly. We watch them run around for a while. It doesn't look like Natsuki actually wants to hurt her. Sayori returns out of breath. I'm gonna teach you a lesson with my bare hands. No, Natsuki, please, there has to be an odder way. As Sayori is backing away from Natsuki, she trips over her shoelaces and falls to the ground. Okay, so this stuff that's happening right here, this is a little bit more true to form for the original game. Kya! So, alright, the music stopped. But, yeah, untied shoelaces. I'm really curious as to what this is going to be about later on in the story. Hey, you okay? Mm-hmm. Natsuki extends her hands towards, Sayori. Come on, you know I wouldn't hurt you, dummy. Sayori accepts the helping hand, and the two of them return to join our conversation. Wait a minute. Her shoelaces were not untied earlier, so either they just came untied while she was running around, or somebody, I'm thinking maybe Monika, just screwed with her shoelaces by manipulating the code of the game to make her fall over. And maybe this has something to do with Sayori's depression. Did you do something interesting in the past few weeks, Yuri? I got to spend some time with my mother, and I found a new author. His books are usually about professionals forced to face extreme circumstances in their work. The one I read is about a medic on a peacekeeping mission for the army. It starts with the medic squad helping civilians in a conflict zone. Difficulties arise when they're attacked by an unknown group. They are made to help the enemy soldiers. On that night, they experience otherworldly events, which are... Hey, Yuri, do you have a TLDR version of this story? No, I only read the book. Excuse me, but what is a TLDR version? It means too long didn't read, Yuri. Internet lingo. I was just teasing you. You know I'm not interested in these kinds of stories. Oh, sorry. I thought it was an acronym for sort of analysis. Me asking for an analysis? Now you're just being silly. I suppose so. How about you, Caesar? What kind of books do you like to read? Books I read? I can't even recall what I read last year. Not because of quantity, but rather the long time spent with everything else between the two things I read. I mean the two things I read. I prefer other forms of storytelling. Other forms? Like theater? Movies! Seeing everything on a big screen, right? Whatever. I came prepared. Prepared to disappoint. Like, games. Yuri looks puzzled by my answer. Natsuki and Sayori seem to be unenthusiastic. I mean, games tell stories. This game right here is living proof of that. However, Monika shoots me an understanding smile, so I've got that going for me, which is nice. Alright, so yeah, this is implying that Monika knows that this is all a game. So, alright. So this isn't just going to be some, oh, now it's just a dating sim with 4 girls. No, Monika still knows that this is a game. Monika, I think, is still screwing around with Sayori's depression. So, yeah, now I just got a little bit more excited about this mod. Let's keep going. No wonder you weren't interested in literature. Natsuki. Manga! Natsuki glares at Monika with dismay. She looks away right after and folds her arms tightly. Oh, come on. You might be surprised, but we actually played games a couple of times in the club. Remember? We played Hangman. I didn't like that one. Nice reference. Only cause you were bad at finding the right words. I remember that I brought crosswords a few times. Was there anything else, Monika? There was that time with anagrams. Right, Aunt Sky? Haha, whatever, ma oink. Natsuki pushes on her nose to imitate a pig's nose. Natsuki, please, show some decency. Damn, Yuri, that was unnecessary. We could play something like that again. What do you guys think? Is she proposing to make me feel more, or is she proposing this to make me feel more involved? I'm not even a part of this club. This is going a lot better than I expected. Depends on what you had in mind. I don't want to play Hangman this time. Don't worry, I've got a great one for this occasion. You reminded me of it with that little misunderstanding of TLDR. Let's call it the acronym game. Each round we are given an acronym and everyone tries to guess what it means. After everyone made their guesses, we vote on the one that we like the most. Whoever got the most votes wins. Does our answer have to be the correct meaning of the acronym? Somebody might like the official meaning, but everyone can vote on an answer they like. This actually sounds like a fun game, Monika. Haha, I try to do my best. As nice as that sounds, I don't want to take it personally. After all, it's not like these girls would want to gain my favor just because I'm the only guy here. Those kinds of things only happen in cliché dating sims, right? Okay, everyone. I'm gonna think of 10 acronyms, and we each write down our guesses before casting our votes. Let's get started. Guess what the acronym means. Each girl will like certain kinds of guesses. If you're uncertain of the right choices, don't be afraid to save and load your game. Wow, okay. So this is the replacement for the poetry. OS. You know what? I'm gonna try to go for the official answers. I'm not gonna try to win anybody over. Operating system. TGIF. Thank God it's Friday. TMI. Too much information. RIP. Rest in peace. GG. Good game. PAW. Parents are watching? VN. Visual novel? SFX. Sound effects. NSFL. Not safe for life. TLDR. Too long, didn't read. Alright. The game concludes and Monika announces the winner. I actually won! This day is going so much better than I expected. I can see why they look up to her as their president. I never actually played a game like this, Monika. It's a surprise, to be sure, but a welcome one. Nice reference. It will make a fine addition to your collection. What? How does she know I have a game collection? She looks into my eyes for a few seconds before letting out a brief giggle. Monika knows what's up. Ah, nothing. I already thought highly of Monika, but it looks like there is more to her than meets the eye. I want to see what kind of person she is beneath the image of the perfect schoolgirl. Who am I kidding? It's not like I can just get close to somebody outside of my league like that. You can in a dating sim, and I know that's what this game is implying right now. So, how did everyone else like it? It was alright. I liked it more than playing Hangman. They keep on referencing Hangman with Sayori. Like, they're beating a dead horse here. I can see the creative potential in it. Monika looks at me expectantly. Caesar? Oh yeah, I never played anything like this before. I kinda liked it. Glad to hear everyone feels included. Does anyone want a round 2? Yeah, but not today. Maybe another time. I agree. Personally, I would prefer talking about other topics. So yeah, this is gonna be the replacement for the poetry, I guess. Okay. I think Monika wasn't only asking to be polite. It looks like she actually enjoyed it herself. Yeah, Monika looked a little let down. There's a minute of silence between us. Yuri's the one who interrupts it. She reminisces over a book they read during the school year. Yuri's the one interrupting the silence? That sounds very uncharacteristic. I never was much of a reader, but it wouldn't hurt to listen in for a bit. Maybe I can join in at some point. So, what did you think about the twist halfway through the story? I wouldn't say it came out of the blue, but the build-up to it was well executed. The characters were established just enough to get you invested. Maybe the pacing was a little too quick. The youngest girl's backstory felt like it was lacking a proper explanation. Maybe the author intended to leave it to the reader's imagination? It was so sad. I felt really sorry for her when she died. Like, why didn't somebody do something? She had friends and all. It was revealed in the later chapters. Don't you remember, Sayori? I only read a few pages after the girl committed. Shush, Sayori. Caesar might want to read it himself. Alright, so Sayori stopped reading the book after this girl in Yuri's book killed herself. Again, they're referencing the depression really hard here. We wouldn't want to spoil it for him, right? Hey, I didn't read it either. You're right. I'm sorry. Didn't you say you're not going to read horror novels, Natsuki? Well, yeah, but I can change my mind, can't I? I catch Natsuki glancing at me for a moment. I decide to take the hint and act upon it. Just a question. Do you sometimes read manga in the club? Barely. Natsuki's eyes light up like a fuse on a stick of dynamite, and she explodes with an energetic sneer. Seriously, we should read them more often. We did read some manga, you know? Yeah, once or twice, but it didn't turn out the way I wanted. Natsuki looks over to me, clearly passionate about the topic. If I was looking in from the outside, I'd think she's telling all of us off. I convinced Yuri to read manga once. And you know what she chose? This bloody horror thing that's about zombie monsters with superpowers. Well, I mean, that's Yuri. You can't knock her for that. She read some manga, didn't she? Ugh! You know they're not zombies, but rather flesh-eating humanoids. I think it shines a light on the battle between our humanity and our deepest animalistic urges. There's this scene where the protagonist finds a corpse. I don't care, Yuri! It's disgusting and too... whatever. I agree with Natsuki. You should try reading some stuff that's not so... edgy. I thought Monika quit the debate club, not renamed it. I'm open to finding new horizons and exploring different genres. All I'm asking for is a set of messages that go beyond the magical friendships and story-based recipe books. Ooh, Yuri throwing some shade here. Her emphasis on those last two things make it sound like she's being sarcastic. Yeah, she very clearly is. That was a pretty nice little jab at Sayori and Natsuki there. I'm an adult after all. Oh, I'm an adult after all. I'm 18 too. Natsuki getting red in the face. Natsuki shrieks in a cute, high-pitched voice, all while stomping her foot. I also feel a sense of relief for some reason. Natsuki, we're all the same age. Yuri's just a bit too serious for some reason. Yeah, she's not so stuck up usually. Oh, I know what's going on here. Yuri's trying to impress somebody. What are you saying, Natsuki? Maybe you should look up what they call projection in psychology. Projection? I'm not doing that. Do you know what that means, Natsuki? We've been over this before. It's absolutely fine that you two like different themes and forms of literature. This diverse range of approaches make our club something special. It wouldn't be as spontaneous if we were all sipping tea and dissecting metaphors all the time. So this is also a bit of a flip towards what we saw in the original game, because when Yuri and Natsuki had their argument in the original game, Monika said that she didn't have it in her to, you know, put her foot down and be assertive with her club members. But here she's doing exactly that. It wouldn't be as thought-provoking if we were just one-upping each other with clever rhymes. Likewise, it wouldn't be the same if we didn't mess around sometimes. I'm helping! Gosh, it would be particularly different if it was just me and a companion talking about reality. Well, what a coinkydink that you would say that, Monika. All in all, you're important for this club. Please don't forget that. All clear? Yes, Miss President. Yeah, and don't call me that. All the hype around Monika seems to be grounded in reality. She knows when to interject and what to say to keep the peace. Again, not characteristic of the original. Sayori was the one who did that in the original game. If it was up to me, I'd probably just get nervous and try to get somebody else to calm the tides. Not necessarily. That's if you chose to have Sayori do it. You could be the one to either side with Yuri or Natsuki. But anyway, after a brief pause, Yuri checks the time. I'm sorry, but I have to go now. Aw, already? Can't you stay a little more? Yeah, Yuri. You're a little stuffy sometimes, but you're still our friend. I would love to stay, but my mom texted me. I'm just glad that I get to spend some time with her. I hope you can understand. I'm sure we all do. Have fun, Yuri. Yeah. The two girls look visibly dejected. I guess they, oh no, it's not that they're gonna miss Yuri that much. I'm thinking that they just, they're upset that they're not spending more time with their friends. Surely they can hang out some other day as well. I guess we'll see each other another time, right? I promise, I'll make time for it. I'll get in touch with Monika since she can organize it so well. See you next time, Yuri. Bye. Goodbye, goodbye, everybody. Good save. See you. Take care, Yuri. Sayori and Monika talk about things they are reading nowadays. Unfortunately, I don't know what I could add to such a conversation when the topic is as alien to me as literature. What would I ask? Tell me something you like about the book. That's way too generic. Here's an idea. Why don't we all go to a cafe? There's one I like to visit nearby. To commemorate this day, coffee's on me. Do they have cookies? I don't know, Sayori. You'll have to come and see for yourself. Can I get the one I had last time? They put honey in it, right? Yes, honey. Oh, yes, honey. Caesar, want to tag along? This looks exactly like one of the opportunities Monika was talking about. It's a shame I have to buy that item for Mom. Wait, there's one problem. What would that be? If I go with him, I might not make it to the shop unless... Well, wait. Where is this place exactly? Monika describes where the cafe is, with landmarks and all that jazz. That's actually close to the shop I have to visit. I wouldn't have a lot of time before I have to leave, but that's still better than turning down such an invitation. Caesar, did you figure it out? Lead the way, Monika. Let's get caffeinated. Yay, let's go. Okay, everyone. Next stop, coffee shop. We went with public transportation, and I sat next to Sayori. Since we spent so much time apart, we give each other summaries of the past year. She tells me about all the things they do in the club. Sounds like they have a good dynamic going on. No wonder she didn't try to look for me. Someone's tapping on my shoulder. We have reached our destination. It's just a stone's throw away now. Cafe Keck. I hold the door open for the girls to enter the cafe. Sayori's first, then Natsuki, with Monika following them. As she enters the doorway, Monika looks me in the eye. What a gentle... Whoa! Sayori suddenly stops in her tracks, blocking the way for the other two girls. Alright, so... yeah, Monika's, again, just trying to have a moment with us, like in the original game, which is characteristic. So, yeah, this game, it's getting a lot of things right. Like, there are a few things that I think are a tad bit inaccurate, but so far, yeah, I can see why people would like this mod. It's pretty good. This place is awesome. How did you find it, Monika? I was just walking around and wanted a cup of coffee. This was the first cafe I saw and instantly fell in love with it. No kidding, it's really fancy. If their goods are just as good, it's a perfect fit for you. You'll see. Come on, let's order something. I'm sure Sayori is not going to get filled up with the view. Haha, you know me too well. The decorations and furniture are really top-notch, but that gives me the impression that this shop is... We approach a display filled with handcrafted cakes and other pastries, above which there's a big board with all the prices. Gulp. My impression is confirmed. If my wallet was alive, it would scream in horror at the numbers that are in front of us. How does Monika afford... The cogs start turning in my head as I process the possibilities of Monika regularly visiting such an establishment. Does she have a rich family? Does she work outside of school? Does she have that many soothers? Soothers, is that like slang for guys that are trying to get with her? Or maybe it's none of those things. Maybe it's the fact that she can program more money for herself in the game. Those cupcakes are so... Natsuki's eyes are fixated upon a pair of cupcakes that have animal faces drawn on them with icing. So cute! Don't feel ashamed to say it, Natsuki. Yeah, they are pretty cute. As the two girls are examining all the delicacies in the display, Monika is ordering the drinks. And an Americano, black. What are you getting for yourself, Monika? A black Americano with sugar. That's how I like it. Sweet and dark. Again, not sure that I can just pretend that that is not supposed to be a pseudo-sexual comment. I feel like there's a reference somewhere in there. Alright, confirmed. I decide to let it go because I've demoralized myself enough just by thinking about the price I have to pay. What should I get? What can I get? I remember one of them, the espresso, which is a shot of coffee. Not planning to take shots today, though. Are you together? I look at Monika with a confused smile frozen over my face. She responds with a similar puzzled look, without a smile. The four of us are together. We'll take a seat. Okay, then. That was only 3. So, are you getting something? I'm getting a black Americano, too. And my wallet is getting gutted. I'm about to pay when the cashier reassures me that I can go join the girls at the table. I assume I'll pay when we're done. Natsuki and Sayori are playing Pinky Wars. Well, I mean, why is MC worried about paying for the coffee? Monika said she would pay for it. Then there's Monika, who's taking a picture of them. When she notices me looking at her screen, she gives me a sly look and puts her finger to her lips. Uh-oh. I sit next to her and watch as the two warriors battle it out to the end. So Monika's, it seems like Monika's trying to, get our attention here. I win. Rah! Not fair. Nuh-uh, it was fair and square. Admit it, you just don't like losing. Natsuki, nobody likes losing fights. You should know that. No need to rub it in. Fine. Where's our coffee, anyway? Monika pokes me with her foot and slightly turns her head to motion towards the incoming waiter. He's already bringing our coffees, but Monika just stays silent and sweetly smiles at Natsuki and Sayori. Hello? When will we get the coffee? Now. Just as Monika says that, the waiter arrives and looks straight at Monika. The usual, miss? Yes, please. Cappuccino! Mine's the honey coffee. The waiter wordlessly puts down my coffee in front of me. He's just about to leave when Sayori perks up. Where's my cookie? Did you order something else as well? Sorry, I didn't know what you wanted. You two were browsing and I forgot to ask. Can I have a cookie, please? Fine. Monika turns to the waiter and forwards Sayori's order. Which flavor would you like? Ooh, I forgot. That's so you, Sayori. Let me go and check the display again. Be right back. Sayori gets up from her seat and walks towards the display. And After exactly 3 steps, she turns around and looks at me with her usual cheery smile. Caesar, are chocolate chip cookies still your favorite? You got that right. That came out in a way more serious tone than I intended it to. Without a word, she marches over to the display. We can't see her from our table, but I can imagine her animated expression as she leans in to browse the section. Why did she ask me about the cookie anyway? Does she want to share it with me? So, Monika. Yes? Yeah, just Monika's visuals here. She's definitely trying to get our attention. What do you do for fun? Lots of things. As you already know, I'm the president of a club. That's a handful. I've also started playing the piano last year. Learning it, that is. I'm still taking lessons. I like to go running on a regular basis. Lastly, but most importantly, I read books. Bet you didn't expect that from the president of a literature club. Haha, should have seen that one coming. How about you, Caesar? What do you do in your free time? Well, you know, guy things. Guy things. Like what? Oh my god. Monika smiles at me sweetly, but with a piercing gaze that's ready to call out my BS at any moment. Baseless statements, that is. If the price got the cogs turning in my head, then this one question grinds my gears full force. Oh, crap, what do I say here? You know, guy stuff. Just, you know, watching porn, gaming, trolling people online. Monika's the exact opposite of me. She's always productive while I just kind of waste away my time. Well, I like to work out at the gym, actually. The most generic thing you could have said. What am I saying? I don't work out. Still, maybe I can make this work. Really? Which one? I don't remember the name of the gym because I just recently started visiting it, but it's a nice area. I used to do my workout sessions at home. Yeah. So what kind of things do you normally do? Just the basics, really. Push-ups, pull-ups, sit-ups, lift-ups, you know. Lift-ups? Yeah, lift-ups. It's when you lift yourself up. So, a sit-up? No, it's different. It's not that easy to explain. I see. Why don't you show it to us then? Ha ha ha! Man, Monika's calling us out. Here? In a cafe? Yeah. Don't you know the secret to working out is to do your exercises whenever you can? Yeah, I guess so. How about we do it outside? Do what now? Just as she says that, I spot Sayori returning with 2 small plates in her hands. Caesar, I brought you something. Sayori puts a plate down in front of me with a tiny slice of chocolate cake. Didn't she ask me about chocolate chip cookies? Sayori, is this a cookie? Easy question. It's a piece of cake, Caesar. I put both my hands on the table and look around with the most serious poker face I can force. There's a silence as I'm looking down at the sweet gift from Sayori. I let out a plate-up sigh and intensely focus on the plate with the cake. Here it comes. My disappointment is immeasurable and my day is ruined. Monika's the first one to laugh, and soon the others follow. I join them with a soft chuckle. It seems like my attempt at humor was worth the risk. This chocolate cake actually tastes amazing. I try to take it slowly to savor the taste. Meanwhile, Sayori is gobbling it down like she's in an eating competition. I listen to the girls chat for a few minutes before I check the time. I really have to go now, otherwise I won't get there. Hey, sorry for interrupting. I just wanted to say goodbye before I go. That's nice of you, Caesar. Will you come back after you're done? She'd like me to come back? That's really tempting, but I would feel like a fool coming back with a big, heavy box and not even buying anything. I would, but I kinda have some other obligations for today. I actually do, although it's not something I couldn't skip out on. It's just a practice with my team in a competitive online game. I promised my team that we would practice today. Don't want to let them slack off. Your team? Are you the leader of the group? Yeah, I guess I am. That's so cool! I wasn't really nominated or anything, it's just how things turned out. Impressive. These eyes that Monika keeps giving us. I wouldn't say having the carry role or messaging people all the time to come and play is all that impressive. Unfortunately, I don't have time to explain all the details. On your way out, would you pay for our drinks as well, like a gentleman? Monika! You said you would pay! At the park, you said that coffee was going to be on you. What the hell are you doing? Crap, I almost forgot about that. I can barely afford to pay for my own coffee, much less everyone else. Maybe another time, Monika. Well then, I'll see you another time, Caesar. Yeah, don't try to freeload off of a guy like that, Monika. You said you would pay, so I mean, do the right thing. Bye-bye, Caesar. See you later. Monika and Sayori sweetly smile at me, and Natsuki waves her hand as I leave them behind in a hurry. The coffee didn't cost a fortune, but spending so much on it doesn't feel like a good investment. I just drink it, and that's it. What else do I get out of it? It's not like a game that stays in my collection. Luckily, I arrive at the shop in time, I get what Mom asked for, and go straight home. It was kind of heavy, but its shape made it awfully tedious to carry on public transport. On the way home, my thoughts are filled with today's events. It feels like I made the right choice by joining the girls. It all went surprisingly well. In fact, better than any interaction I had with girls in school. After seeing how friendly they were to me, I think I made a good impression on all of them. Maybe I'll be able to get to know them even more in the future? Sayori, the sundle of bunshine that I grew up with. Nice. Natsuki, who looks as cute as her cupcakes. Yuri, who's got a handful of interesting personality traits. Still, my thoughts are occupied with Monika. Not that I have a chance, but miracles can happen, right? Daydreaming aside, I have to make up my mind whether I'm actually willing to start working out. So you're gonna defend your own lie? Alright, so now we're transitioning into Tuesday, guys, and we've been playing for about an hour, so I think we're gonna end the video here. Let me go ahead and save the game here. But, yeah, guys, I'm liking this mod so far. It got better and better as we played through this first hour, so I'm excited to keep playing it some more. I'm really glad that you guys recommended it to me, and if you have any other recommendations you want to make to me, whether it's DDLC related or not, then just let me know, because yeah, this was a really good suggestion. But that's going to do it for this video, guys. Thank you for watching as always, and until next time, I'm Cesar Madrazo, and I am out.